Hello, everyone. My name is Nick. I am the creator and lead designer on a currently unreleased sci-fi meets fantasy TTRPG entitled Antique Worlds. This is my GM's retrospective where I go over my very first campaign, my very first time GMing, and just how it went, all the mistakes I made, what I did wrong, and what I could do better. So this is session 6, and I want to thank you all who's been joining me on this journey so far. If you are enjoying it, please make sure you share this with a friend. It goes a long way. But now, like I said, session 6, let's begin, shall we? So right off the bat, I'm going to be honest, this is probably going to be a shorter episode just because the majority of this session was a long combat. Now, session 5 ended with Teolia leaving, and session 6 begins with kind of the aftermath effects of that. We know that when they interact with Teolia, it affects the world. So, again, this monster storm rolls in, but then also they had walked into this little tiny village when the sun was setting, and even though the conversation with Teolia only felt like a few seconds, again, when he left, the sun was starting to rise, so it took an entire night. So now the rain subsides finally. It's a muddy mess, and they hear this mechanical whirring almost, and they're trying to figure out what it is, and then there is an encounter with a android named TX30. So he finds the party and they see him for the first time, and he is this like hodgepodge, ramshackled looking android with serious armaments, covered head to toe in guns and weapons. And but parts of him look rusted and old, parts of him look sleek and new. He's just a very almost randomly put together robot. Parallax is familiar with who TX30 is because the crime lord that Parallax serves also regularly employs TX30 as a bounty hunter. So TX30 drops this giant shield thing where now they are all encased in this big see-through bubble. Think like the shields from Phantom Menace that the Gungans have. Very similar to that, where it's like it encloses this little battlefield where they cannot get out unless they kill TX30. I look behind the scenes, all the shield was on a counter. After so many turns, the shield was going to drop. But he basically made it clear that he wanted to bring Parallax in alive. He was looking to capture Parallax, and then he was going to kill the rest of the party. So a very long battle ensues, and there's a very good back and forth between the crew or the party and TX30. He will drop them low, they heal up. He drops low, he heals up. It's just and it's in a very crowded space, so it was a very messy fight, and I don't know how the players felt about the fight. Like I don't know if they hated it or if they loved it. It could go either way. My point of the fight, I wanted it to be messy. I wanted it to be one of those knockdown, drag out fights. And I think I was able to get that across. Like, I was able to do that. What I did wrong, though, was I had another timer going on. And I made it very clear at the beginning of the fight that there was someone, basically, there was a sniper watching them. The sniper had taken shots at the shield and were not able to get through the shield, but the sniper was aiming at TX30. The sniper was never aiming at the players. So every entire round of combat, I would make a comment on this sniper about what they were doing. Like the first 2 or 3 rounds of combat, they were shooting to try and penetrate the shield. Or sorry, round 4, they can notice that the sniper is heading towards them. Round 5, the sniper is getting closer. Round 6, the sniper is getting close. Like I was trying to I was trying to put that sniper on a timer. My goal was for the players to kill TX30 and then they have this encounter with the sniper, but the battle just kept going on and going on and going on and going on. And it was it was like the best slash worst type of balance a battle could be because there was like no winning. And so I don't know the proper way to have solved this, but I'll tell you the improper way. So on my actual timer that I had for the shields go down, and then the NPC that I had that was the sniper got to them and was able to incapacitate TX30. And it's a armored woman, and she makes a point that TX30 is not dead. She did not kill him. He is an android. The only way to kill him is to find his backups, like his actual base where all his downloadable backups are, and destroy the backups. Other than that, every time his body gets destroyed, he just downloads his brain into a new body kind of thing. So I was trying to point out, hey, I did not defeat this bounty hunter. He's still out there and he's still going to come at you. And the reason I did that was because I needed the session to move on. But some of my players weren't very happy that I used an NPC to essentially kill the bad guy, especially Tama. I was looking at his notes because I've been this campaign took place like 2 years ago, so I've been looking at my notes and a couple of my players' notes. But Tama had written in his notes that he felt like we they could have managed to defeat TX30 and they didn't need the extra help, which I completely understand. Thinking back, like I didn't send that NPC in there to save the day and be the hero and get all the credit. I was trying to basically rush the ending of the battle because it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't going anywhere. It was just one of those, the balance was, it would just go back and forth, back and forth. No one was getting an upper hand. Maybe looking back, I genuinely don't know because it also feels cheap to just let the players kill the bad guy when they didn't do anything. I probably could have had PX30 retreat or something along those lines. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the actual proper way. I guess maybe the actual answer would be like let the battle go. And if it takes, another hour or two, but it results in a winner, then it results in a winner because eventually someone would have won. I understand that. That's how dice work. Eventually, you're going to either roll really well or really bad, and it's going to work in your favor. So the correct answer is I should have just let the battle go and let it finish how it was supposed to finish. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what would you have done in that situation. I know I did the wrong thing, but what would you have done? How would you have resolved it better? So this armored woman, she essentially is a bounty hunter, but she tells them that she works for someone named Camilla and that Camilla has been keeping her eyes on them and that she was sent by Camilla to basically help them out. And that was all. That was really all. Her going there was to name drop Camilla because Camilla is important later on. Camilla will eventually be an important NPC for the players to ally with, and I was just trying to name drop that. So they ask, "What's the point of this little village?" And she confirms what the book people say, and that this is where the precious stone marks a mountainous gate, and a door to nowhere leads to her. So she confirms that with them, and she kind of basically tells them, "Hey, yeah, you should be able to find a secret passage in this tiny little village that will lead you into the mountain, and that's what you're looking for." So they do that. She leaves. They begin searching around for whatever this little secret passage is. In one of the little homes, the little huts or whatever, they find a false floor and they open it up and it leads to this stone corridor that leads into the mountain. So they all go into it, start exploring, and there's all these tunnels and these different passageways, but it's filled with danger. So they have to fight off spiders, giant spiders. They have to fight off giant, like other insectoid monsters and everything like that. They have a couple of very small combats. And then that's basically where the session ends up coming to a close. It was interesting because I wasn't sure how to. They wanted just to like rest right in the middle of like the stone passageway, and I was like, no, I don't think that works because you can't just sit down in the middle of the passageway and expect to be safe. So very creatively, and I let them roll for it, and they passed all their rolls. They basically found a small little offshoot and built up like this basically door so they could like close off the small little offshoot, and they had basically made their own little cave, and then I let them rest there because I was okay with that. I figured it was clever enough to where they deserved that. It's not something I do often, but in that moment I was totally fine with it. But so yeah, that's where it ended. It ended with them short resting essentially in this game, the equivalent of a short rest in that little alcove. And yeah, and that's where session 6 ended. But So again, yeah, my big mistake there was using a NPC to end the battle and basically quote unquote save them. I wasn't trying to do that, but I completely understand why it came across that way. Continuing in my quote unquote GM career, it's something I've never really done again because it got a poor reaction. So yeah, that was all that was really to that session. Like I said, it was a very long battle, a brief interaction with this armored woman who works for Camilla, and then they explored the caves and had a few minor combats. So sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think, what I could have done better, how I could have improved, how I should have ended that battle, and then just tell me your thoughts. So I know it was a shorter episode, and I apologize for that. Wasn't a lot to talk about in the actual combat, but I really appreciate you listening. If you can, if you're enjoying this, please share it with a friend, rate it however you feel it was, and sound off in the comments. And as always, I will see you in the next one.